Yo, what it is, it's your main man M.Aura, coming to you live from the L.F.T.D, from somewhere in the proverbial Auraverse, so to speak. Per usual, you know what I mean? I'm gonna get up here and converse and kind of commentate on, just some relevant things, man. Some things that's in the proverbial atmosphere. Because it's evident that, two things are evident. One is that energy is pervasive and prevalent. And two, wow. Back to the Auraverse. That energy is prevalent because everything is based on it, from the things that kind of power our homes to the tethering of things that kind of correspond and connect us with one another. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that we all, animate and inanimate, as objects, nouns, person, places, things, you know what I'm saying, have a correspondence and a connection, so to speak. If anybody knows me, like, I'm a bit of a I go by M.Aura, but M can take on a lot of different concepts, from monarch to man to monk. I guess in this case it's a monk. It's monk aura, in the sense that I guess throughout my life and even up until I guess my adulthood, I've always kind of stood more on the idea of solitude and feeling more myself and alive when I'm in my own space in the Auraverse, which kind of brings that to that concept, somewhere in the Auraverse. A bit of a recluse, and I do well with corresponding with people, connecting with people, but with the idea and the conception of energy and how all these things work, and like I said earlier, the distinction between some of us knowing what energy and how it works and other of us not so much. I guess that's what kind of, in so many words, that's what kind of inspires or, triggers that want to disassociate and stay, kind of in solitude or in solace, primarily because it's like when you can read other people's energy and tell, the real from the fake, it makes you not want to correspond because it's a lot more fake energy than there is real. I'm a bit of a ambivert and a, introvert mixed. I call it ambivert. But I prefer solitude because of the subject matter that, it's kind of been sticking out and prevalent in the Auraverse, in the proverbial Auraverse, and that being like, is it real love or is it appreciation for association? Because there's definitely the distinction. And I think sometimes, in my own personal journey, we have to discern and be able to recognize when the energies that we correspond with, is it real love or is it, appreciation for the association with whatever energy or aura or essence that you transmit, right? And in my opinion, I think the difference between the two is, like, real love is, I guess, the individual's capacity to operate from an authentic version of self and allow through that to care authentically for another individual's like well-being and have concern for who they are, not just the image or the perception that is normally presented, but more so, how are you? Not the projection of who you are, but how are you? You know what I'm saying? I think that is a real, that exemplifies the concept of love. Juxtapose, the appreciation by association. So, everybody's had those fair weather friends, the people who, when you're doing good and things is up, it's all, smiles and sunshine. But then when things hit a, pivotal turn and, your respective journeys, then those people who typically is waving, saying hello and, kind of doing the homie dance and shit, they vanish, vamoose, voila type shit, you know what I mean? And you're forced to dig yourself out of whatever hole or, devise a new construct and a plan to get yourself back to or to a better place than you were formerly. You know what I mean? And from my experience, that's what, channels the solitude. You know what I mean? The idea of, yeah, why the F would I want to correspond with individuals who don't have an authentic love and concern and caring for myself, much less the individuals that they correspond with. Juxtapose, like I said, the real love, like the idea of, I know some of us have heard that saying, like, one's vibe attracts their tribe, right? And truth of the matter is, there's more people who subscribe, I feel like, to being a doppelganger, to an archetype, or to a perception of who we're perceived to be, juxtaposed or counterbalanced to, like, showing their authentic selves. You know what I'm saying? In order to do that, that requires a journey within, not the external shit, not the projection. Not the projection or the perception that you want people to see you as, right?